Hi, Tom Trento, back with Barry Shaw, Israel Institute for Strategic Studies. You can find Barry on Facebook, The View from Israel, Barry Shaw, S-H-A-W. Please look him up. He's analyzing what's going on, providing phenomenal information. And today, we want information about our president, one of the oldest serving presidents in 10,000 years. Barry, President Biden is coming to Israel. Are you going to be out there with the flag waving and bringing him into Israel real happy or what?
The flags will be at half mast when Biden comes over this time, Tom.
It's pretty good.
He's coming to visit Jerusalem. Okay. He's going to come and meet some of our Israeli leaders, president, prime minister, I guess foreign minister, and tell them how much he loves us and how much he's got our back. I'll talk about how he's got our back later on. But then he was supposed to go the next day to meet the Palestinians. Where? In Ramallah? No, in East Jerusalem. In other words, cynically put, Biden was coming not to unite Israel's capital, but to divide it. And here we are, just a few decades after Ronald Reagan went to Berlin and said to Gorbachev, tear down this wall. And he was acclaimed for uniting the Germans' capital. Now we have the United States president who was attempting to come over here to divide Israel's capital. The protest, I think, succeeded because my latest information is that, in fact, the second day he's not going to meet the Palestinians in East Jerusalem.
That's
My news is that it's on the books that the next day he's going to meet Mahmoud Abbas again, not in Ramallah, but in Bethlehem, right? A few miles down the road. He's also making the condition that he refuses to go there, escorted by an Israeli security to keep him safe. So good luck with that. However, let me just give you and your viewers a few words about Bethlehem so you know what Bethlehem is all about. I remember the time, you do, Tom, as well, when Israel actually controlled Bethlehem. And at that time, it was a middle-class city with a strong Christian majority there. It's a Christian town, Bethlehem, until we were forced to hand it over to Yasser Arafat in the name of peace. And he allowed his henchmen into Bethlehem, where it is no longer a majority Christian town, because the Christians were driven out, not by Israel, not by Israeli checkpoints, as some of the people would deviantly tell you, but by his thugs who took over their homes, the Christians, and took over their businesses. So when you go to Bethlehem these days, you find out whether the shopkeepers are Christian or whether they're part of the Yasser Arafat, now Mahmoud Abbas's Palestinian a Muslim population. Nothing against the Muslims, except when they persecute Jews and Christians, and Bethlehem is a real place for this to do. But you will never hear this if Biden goes there and warmly greets and hugs Mahmoud Abbas and tells him he's got their back.
Yeah, we were in Bethlehem. We've tried to get in several times. It's like, well, no, it's not a good time now, not a good time. A couple of years ago, we finally got in with a small group. And we went to this Christian store with all these wonderful artifacts, tourist items, but much more than that. And we talked to the family, an old line Christian family. It's been there for years, Arab Christians. And they basically said, we have to be very careful. You know, they let us stay here, but it's not like it's used to be. So, yeah, well, that's Islam. Barry, that's Islam. Islam must dominate the land that it believes it once had and continues to have. So we understand that. And sadly, we have a president now that buys into those principles.
You know, we have a saying here, Tom, very quickly. We used to say it in the past where people when gays were going out with their gay flags and supporting Palestinians in Gaza. And I made the comment there, which went a bit viral, to say, give me a break. If you're gay in Gaza, you've been living in Tel Aviv because you wouldn't be allowing God. I'm in Gaza. That was them. But I want to tell you something else even more seriously. If you're Christian living in Bethlehem, you, for heaven's sakes, and become a Christian living in either Jerusalem or Nazareth under Israeli control, and you have the freedom of worship and you can live there safely without any threats on your life, your family, your home, and your business.
Yeah, point well taken, Barry Shaw. Thank you. And if you do get a selfie with President Biden when you're there, be sure to share it with us, okay? On Masada, maybe? No, he's not going down there. Next time, I want to talk to you about President Biden and some of his colleagues in the White House and their view of Israel. That's next time. Thank you, Barry Shaw.
Thanks, Tom.